right, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. We are ready to recap a fantastic night of fights from Combat Night Pro Tallahassee this past weekend. And you see who it is. We made it back to Orlando safely. And, we didn't want to compete with the Super Bowl last night, so we went ahead and I know you didn't give a shit about that, but
I didn't give two shits about it. I actually put it on and watched like half of it.
it technically it was over by the time we would have jumped on anyway, but I was beat. Um, all right, so man, we had some fantastic fights last night, all over the amateur card, all over the pro card. Um, did Before we even start just like going down the line or whatever, was there anyone that stood out to you as like, oh man, this one was super entertaining?
David Macias versus Romello and Eddie Perlaza versus Dallas Gibson. For me, on the pro side, two of the best fights of the night.
Yeah, for sure. And one for me that was super entertaining and kind of like eye-opening was Urban Enriquez and Tristan McGraw. Uh, Urban Enriquez, man, he brought some pressure like I haven't really seen before. And as a debuter, that was like my jaw was I was like slack jawed watching that pressure that he was bringing. So that one was super exciting. All right. So are there any that you want to kind of see that we can watch, maybe the finish or watch some of the action, and talk about it a little bit? Anyone in particular you want to start with?
Um, probably David Macias and Romello.
All right.
I'm gonna say this a couple times throughout this podcast, but those guys fight like they want to be in the UFC. And I feel like as guys get more fights and they start getting closer to that ability to be in the UFC, maybe they're 5-0, maybe they're 6-0, 6-1, 6-2. They start fighting to not lose, and they stop fighting to finish and be entertaining. And that's what the UFC wants. They want guys that are coming in there when their stats pop up. They want to see 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. No one, have you ever seen in the UFC a stat pop up and go 5 decisions?
Yeah, no.
So I like seeing these young guns like David and Romello who are really getting after it. Left it all in the Combatagon, both of them. And I think a lot of fighters could take notes from these guys. It's really, man, if you want to get to the next level, this is how you got to fight. Not with reckless abandonment, but calculated risk.
Let me scroll back a little bit more. I know there was a couple of big slams in the first round from Romello that are worth having another look at.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that first slam by Romello wasn't illegal. I'm pretty sure he intentionally spiked him on his head.
Yeah, I think
Macias checking the oil. Even with the oil check, though, Romello still builds up and finishes his takedown.
Heavy elbows to the side of the head of Union.
Yeah, when it comes to that new rule set, man, elbows are fair game from wherever.
Union
and how long? That was the one that you were just talking about. He kind of repositioned him.
I could still see Macias smiling through that underneath.
We were talking about that after the fight, and I even commented right there. Macias, even after that, he was down underneath there smiling.
Yeah, they had a few moments where they had some good exchanges, and they just smiled at each other. Even at the very end of the fight, they like mean mug each other, and they both start smiling. You know, Romello walks around at like 150, 152. I think this might have been an eye-opening fight for him and made him
Hey,
realize, like, I got to go to 135. He can't be. He's not a
Luis
45.
Perez said there's an echo on your mic.
Let me go to this and see if this helps.
Thanks, Luis.
All right.
Yeah, but this fight was pretty much nonstop. You know, in the first round, I think it was probably the closest round.
Oh, he's got a posture.
I think maybe I thought Romello won the first round due to those takedowns, and then there started to be some separation in the second as Macias was getting the better of the stand up. And I forgot about Romello's arm was in peril here for a long time. I thought he was going to finish the fight here, but Romello showed a lot of toughness.
Romello able to muscle through it.
I don't know what his arms are made out of there, but man. But he's not safe though.
No. Drops Macias on his head, but they still got tight. The arm.
All right. Is this any better, Lewis?
The corner of Romello screaming for him to exit.
Oh, I see Javier Martinez jumped on the stream. What's up, homie?
He's got his hands together for the moment.
Got a lot of love for Javi.
Goes to show how tough Romello is.
Yeah, we'll definitely chat about that one.
Just watching this here.
I think we on Jaguar cam right now.
To hold his hands tight together.
And does.
And David bails on it. Now is in side control there.
Romello does well to get out of a nasty spot.
He's popping back up.
And this was about the tone of the fight, you know, the whole time.
Romello has been tough, man. This guy definitely has a good amount of grit on him.
You know, something I didn't see much through the night on the pro fights that I thought I might see more of was the 12-6.
Yeah, I don't think we saw any, did we?
He just did one little one to like his shoulder, but
trying to utilize that momentum from that submission attempt there. Now that he has Romello up against the cage, solid.
I expect that will pick up more as they start seeing it more in UFC and stuff like that, which it's being done in the UFC for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking, you know, for the cut open elbows or those knockout shots, but man, simple knees to the body, man. Those are going to do a lot of damages internally.
Yeah, I thought these guys also both took turns like running into stiff jabs.
Yeah, right here I thought Macias could get the finish.
Oh, is this the?
Less than a minute to go here.
Yeah, at the end of both rounds, he had a very close call for finishes.
30 seconds.
This is the silliness. No?
That was the end of the second round.
He needs to keep his hands up there because these kicks and these punches are coming at all heights here from David Macias. Ooh, Romello just stips him with that jab, but he needs to do more of that there.
Yeah, Mello landed some hard punches there to end the first. Oh, and he did get a little extra love there at the end of the round after the bell. I'm gonna see if I can get us forward to the end of the second round because that was kind of a pivotal.
Yeah.
You can't just cover up like that.
Am I still echoing?
You weren't echoing to me.
Seconds left. If Macias will just rain shots.
Yeah, the referee is looking close. All it takes is one big devastating shot.
You know, he really ruined an opportunity here, I think, to possibly get the finish. I don't know what he was thinking.
And that right there was just a break.
He was just going wild dog.
Yes.
Right there just might have saved Romello.
Retro said Echo is still there.
He's going to get 5 minutes.
Yeah, Romello, if he's smart, man, he's going to use it.
He will take all 5.
Use it. You definitely got to use it, man. If I'm him, man, I'm taking at least.
What's up, Mikey? Yeah, it was a good night of fights.
Point for that.
Surprised you weren't there.
The referee gives him a hard warning.
I think there's a replay.
I think it landed on his shoulder. It didn't like land on his head, but nevertheless.
Yeah, from that position there, just uppercuts.
I was wrong about that. It definitely landed on his head.
While your opponent's in that 50-50 range.
Yeah, especially after what you just had him, you know, dropped.
Yeah, like other referees might have already called that.
Yeah, that was a point in the fight where he was, you know, he kind of had him on the ropes, hitting him with some nasty ground and pound.
Last 10 seconds.
And he was hitting him with everything, backhands, elbow.
Oh yeah, that was right on the head.
Yeah.
That was right on the top of the head.
Yeah, thankfully Romello is not a sissy. Some guys would have took the easy way out there.
His head down low, man. He's exhausted. Romello Union is exhausted right now, ladies and gentlemen. But he's utilizing this time to catch his breath. I think it's less about that front kick to the face.
He used the good, rightfully so, used a good amount of time to get, you know, I don't think that kick itself was what took his wits from him in that moment. I think it was that barrage of strikes he was kind of eating, but he took a good amount of time to get some recovery.
Yeah, no. 30 seconds prior. Nevertheless, it's the strategy. You take the time.
Boy, I swear, if David loses this fight here, going into the third round, man, it's gonna be that right there that he's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, so I think in my mind's eye, I had it like 1-1 after round 2. But I'm not sure that was the general consensus.
It could have been 1-1.
You know, with the I forgot about the peril that he was in with the armbar in round 1, despite the slams, because there wasn't much other like control on the ground. Okay, Lewis, we were seeing it similar.
I am.
Watch this last 2 minutes.
Romello did a good job of keeping him off balance as he was trying to cinch up a choke. He's in a bad spot right there.
Yeah, right here. This is where you want to kick and knee your opponent in the head. He's no longer a down opponent. 90 seconds left, man. If David doesn't finish this, man, he's going to be definitely disappointed in himself. He's still going to get the W so far, but he definitely had ample opportunity and moments in this fight.
This doesn't any better. Doesn't sound like.
Romello trying to get a tight clinch.
Ooh, because every second that Romello's still standing, there's another second where he can finish this fight and come out victorious.
Yeah, I thought they were both trying to thug it out there to the end. Retro said nope.
30 seconds left here. Romello trying to hit that switch. David Macias is holding on for dear life, trying to get this last takedown.
Yeah, echoes,
secure
unfortunately.
the victory here and secure this position.
Yeah, Javier, you trying to get it right.
I'm trying, bro. Is that better with the echo?
Last 10 seconds here.
I feel like if I roll down and win, maybe it won't echo as much.
You're not echoing to me.
What a dominant victory there. Probably gonna
Well, that's all that matters.
David Macias. He definitely could have finished this guy here, but we'll take that unanimous decision.
incredible performance there for David Macias.
Absolutely, man. That's slick. I was impressed. Yeah, he took him down.
And that was David Macias' Combat Night debut.
And his defense, his ability
Yes.
to slip and rip and get out the way there.
Yeah, I didn't think I had seen him before. I liked his energy.
I agree.
That was a great fight and a tough fight for you know, a pro debut. Oh no, he was 1-0, excuse me. Both of them were 1-0. Yeah, tough second fight for both of them.
Very tough fight.
All right. Who else we want to see a little bit of?
But like I was saying, that the way those guys fought is the way you have to fight if you want to get in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll talk about the fight I didn't like.
Which one?
Sham Delva versus Thorne. Both of these guys, I feel, are on the cusp of being able to be, in the UFC. And man, they just did not fight like you would expect a UFC fighter to fight.
Yeah, Sham came in 5-1, and Thorne came in 3-0, and it was just basically up against the cage.
I mean,
the whole fight.
The ref pulled them apart like 8 times and told them, "You got to fight." Before the round started, he told them, "Y'all got to fight. Like, give the judges something to score." And I mean, gosh, I just rewatched it before we came on here. Please don't put it on. I don't want people to tune out. I know I sound like a prick when I'm saying that, and I'm not. I'm never one to judge the guy in the arena, but you gotta fight, man. When you're right there, if the UFC hits me up and says I want to see a highlight video of Sham's last fight, how do I send them a highlight video of that? I mean, that's what I'm talking about when I say, these guys, you want to get to the UFC, you got to be exciting, you got to be entertaining, you got to give the UFC a reason to pick you up. There's hundreds of guys begging and wanting to get in.
Lewis is ruthless.
Not typically, those guys are very exciting.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to they know they're there. They want to protect the record. They want to make sure they win. But man, if you want to get to the next level, if your goal is to get to the UFC, you got to get finishes. That's just it. When there's a guy who's 9-2 with 8 finishes, or a guy that's 9-0 with 2 finishes, who do you think the UFC is going to pick up? I don't even got to guess. I know. So it's real important that you're getting these finishes, and even if you don't get a finish, you're fighting like you are trying to finish. You watch the contender. Anyone can watch the contender series. What does Dana say? When guys don't finish, they don't go for finishes, they don't take risks. He's not signing them.
Let's watch some of this. Where am I? I'm thumbing through some files to find a good starting point for the one.
Man, I've tried everything to fix this echo. I have no idea why it's echoing.
You need some of these Olski Wolskis.
I know, man. I got these Bose fancy headsets. Maybe if I talk this way. I think that's less of an echo.
Yeah. So Retro said Cybertruck so big it creates an echo.
Well, the windows are open. The phone's outside of the Cybertruck now, and it's still echoing.
You hear it echoing?
Like
He said, now you're echoing sideways. Let's pull up this
I give up.
one.
I'm gonna get out of the truck completely.
Yeah, let's look at some of Lewis's fight. Yeah, shout out to Luis Perez taking fight on short notice.
Yeah, it's on a week's notice. Taking on a guy with a lot of experience.
Canos keeps dropping the head. Lewis keeping him tight up against the cage.
Yeah, he needs to utilize a better job of head pressure, grinding right underneath the chin there, but he doesn't need that as he slags Matthew Canos down to the ground here.
Looking to pass. Looks like the long shorts of Lewis has got him trapped up a little bit.
Yeah, if you know you're a grapple heavy guy, I say go with the old school Valley Tudo shorts. It's not going to get in the way. And right here, the corner of
You
Lewis
see how
is telling
David
him
Macias
elbows.
chiming in on some
this
of
being
our
his first pro fight,
chatter.
man, sometimes you forget about all the nice new key tools that you can use.
Nah, David, your fight was perfect.
Lewis doing well to secure that.
I just checked my
Alrighty.
settings. You know what's funny? There's actually a box check that says echo cancellation.
Check that, man.
It is checked.
Oh, shit. All right. Coach Ben's going to jump in with us.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm here.
What's up, man?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Peeping some
Ben,
of
I
the
want to hear
action.
your take on the Sham Theron fight.
Okay. What have you guys covered it already?
Ben's
Kind of.
echoing too.
I've got my mic on.
Why are we all echoing?
I don't know.
But
Weird.
I'm not echoing.
No, you are not. It's because you have a wired headset. Is this better? No. Damn it.
That was a great job by Lewis doing exactly what we now I feel like I am echoing. Doing exactly what we expect to see from a guy like him with the goals that he has and where he's trying to go. So came in, did the work, got out of there. Did the dance, cut the promo.
Is this better? No echo? Sorry.
Yeah, it's not as bad now. Not like mine.
Okay, cool. We're both in there. So, what did you guys cover the Sham Thorne fight?
We're not playing it here.
No, but like, did you cover it? Like, did you guys talk about it?
Very briefly, I just said I was not a fan of the fight.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a crowd pleaser, you know. But that's the style that Thorne fights with, you know. He's got over 8 victories. He's fought that same way from the beginning, you know. He pressures forward. He throws huge shots, big overhand, big left hook, a big loaded upright straight, and he presses the guys to the fence. He looks to get on the legs, take them down. He goes upper body lockup. His primary attack is his head and arm choke or katagatame. Hands locked, he never lets go. And he just creeps and grinds and creeps and grinds. And with that kind of fighter, there's going to be a lot of cage fighting. I wanted Sham on his bicycle a little more. I wanted him rotating or circling to his power side, using his lead hand, using his reach advantage to kind of keep him at bay. And Thor knew that. You know, you saw it in his forums. They filled out. He said, my opponent's going to try to keep distance, circle away from me, but I'm going to put him in the cage. He didn't get what he expected out of it. Sham at least 15 or more takedown attempts from him and did a good amount of damage on the inside. Unfortunately, they're not huge movements that you're going to get the crowds. Oh, wow. But he did some legitimate damage in there.
Yeah,
I
rewatched it right before we got on here, and Sham was definitely throwing some short elbows. And it's kind of hard to deal with a guy who's just trying to grab you around your waist and keep the head under your chin. I don't know that. I know the ref broke him up like 8 times and warned them before each round, like, "Hey guys, let's fight."
Man, but at the same time, wrestling is a massive part of the sport. Like in the start of the second round, you saw the ref going, "You guys got to fight," and Thorne is like, "Look at my face, man. How are you gonna say I'm not fighting?" You know, he had knobs, he had a cut inside his eye, he had, stuff. He was getting banged up. It was just not a fan-friendly style of fighting.
Yeah, wrestling is a part of the sport. I agree with you 100%. There was not many takedown attempts. In fact, Sham got 2.
Yeah, and those were the only 2.
Yeah. But I am a fan of wrestling. But if you're gonna have something against the cage, you got to go for the takedowns.
I think Sham was denying him. Sham did a really, really good job of keeping his underhook high and breaking the wrist out constantly. I wanted him underhooking. I'm sure Ramsey heard me. I lost my voice. You also
do a very good job at talking very loudly and letting the refs know and the judges know that someone's not being active. I think that might have played a role in the split decision, to be honest with you. You do a good job of doing that. It's a valuable tool that a lot of guys don't use. On a higher level, people might recognize Sean O'Malley's coach. He does that a lot. He's got in trouble for it for going a little too far, but I think it's very important to do that as a coach. You should have one guy that's talking to the judges. But you're not really talking to your fighter. You're talking to the judges, letting them know, like, he's not active, he's not working, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But, like, that style kind of gives me time because I don't always have to be saying something if he's doing the same thing. So you just got to remind him, hey, man, you got no points on the board. Like with Speed, I was trying to do that with Angel as well. Because after Speed cracked him a few times, he did not want to strike it out. He wanted to get right to control, Go right. And it was, hey, man, you're not doing nothing. Because I want him to do something, giving Speed some space to hopefully, fix his position. But that's a different topic.
Yeah,
like that's kind of what I expected from Thorne, just because that's how he fights. I was hoping Sham would be a lot more mobile. He surprised me with the flying knees in the second. I did not see that coming.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think Sham did enough to get the win there. But man, I just, and it sucks because it's hard to do it if one guy's really wanting to engage in the grappling and the clinching. And I wish Thorne would have realized, at some point in the second round, you kind of got to recognize, all right, I'm not able to get my takedowns I want. I need to work inside dirty boxing more, and I need to
change your takedowns. Change your takedowns. He went for body lock, outside trip, and under the butt double. There were singles,
Yeah.
there's high crotches, there's knee taps, there's power twist. There's from the same area, very little change.
Yeah.
I'm glad he did it, but
what I try to keep reminding myself of too is like I'm not the man in the arena. Like it's so easy to say that from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But I'm not that guy. I'm also not trying to get in the UFC.
Yeah. I know Sham was saying, so Sham is a freak athlete. He is genetically gifted. He's insane. And after the first fight, I was like, hey, is he strong? And he goes, no, he's good. And after the fight, he was like, that motherfucker is so strong.
Yeah.
Like, Thorne looks, he's as wide as he is thick. That
Oh, yeah.
dude is a brick shithouse.
Oh, yeah.
I apologize to the ring. Like, I'm sorry I was razzing you so hard. I just needed you to do something.
But, yo, speaking of Lewis, we were talking about Lewis's fight. Get back on that real quick. He did exactly what the UFC wants to see. You know what I mean? They want to see an entertaining guy, the walkout, the post-fight, the fight. Like, I know it's his first fight. He's got a lot more to go. He's going to get tougher opponents as he goes. But, yo, find a way to keep doing that.
Bro,
that's what's going to get you noticed at 6-0, 7-1, 7-2 is having that style, and being that guy will get you noticed quicker than being 10-0 and having all decisions.
Yeah. Lewis is going to get to a show for sure. He's going to get in a 1%. He's too entertaining. He cuts a fantastic promo. He talks shit. He stays in the social media, and he fights like a motherfucker. He's going somewhere for sure.
I also think my mic stopped echoing.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything except for turn off the echo cancellation. Fuckers.
It's an opposite button.
Yeah, I would say another pro fight that stood out for me was Dallas Gibson and Eddie Perez. Both of those guys, man, you know, debut against one another. They're both strikers. Eddie had to pull out his grappling to get the win, and it was crazy to me. Eddie was taking these low kicks. He was just eating these low kicks, and I saw his leg turning purple in the first round.
Damn.
I don't know why Dallas did not go heavy, like continue to throw heavy leg kicks. He did, but then like Eddie would start checking him a little bit. But man, going into the third round, Eddie's leg was definitely compromised.
Man, some guys get in their own head. Like they see something working, and then they're like, "No, they got to figure it out." They convince themselves that the other guy's gonna figure it out because they figured it out.
Yeah. And I think Dallas is another guy that needs to be at 135. You know, him and Romello both, I think, will have some solid success at 135. But you can even see the size difference here in Eddie and Dallas.
Man, that Romello fight was interesting. Like, we'll get to that in a minute, I'm sure. But, yeah, Dallas does look like he's a little soft and a little shit. I'd see. I'm bummed I missed calling so much of the pro card, but I had to get the boys ready and back.
Yeah, Dallas was relentless with those low kicks, and was mixing it up, as you see there on the feet, body to head.
Yeah, nice. Good job. It's gotta be kind of cool seeing so many guys fight in your own shorts.
I don't think Dallas was expecting for Eddie to grapple at all, to be honest with you. Eddie does not grapple often. So I think he was a little surprised.
He won his last fight by ground and pound from Mount.
Yes, he did. But that was really the first fight. He was the one initiating a takedown. Normally, it's the other way around.
True. But that's good. It shows growth.
Yeah, you know, he's definitely improving.
Position. Yeah. Gibson put him in a position that he had to show how broad his game is. You know, I used to chat with Kayla Harrison back in the day, and she was like, I want to show people that I can bang. And I'm like, why? You're one of the best judo players in history. They have to earn the right to find out if you can strike. They have to stop the takedown. And it's kind of the same thing. You have to put me in a position where you're forcing me to grapple to find out how good of a grappler I am. Because it's only a benefit striker, or you're just a grappler. Because they're going to prepare for what is your specialty, but then if they stop it, they don't know how good you are at the other stuff. They're just only assuming you're not good. Yeah, but Eddie looks fabulous here. Great shoulder pressure. He's keeping the head and neck under control. He's playing real smart. That guy spends time on the mat.
Yeah, Eddie did a good job. I don't think Eddie's game plan in this fight was to wrestle either. I think he was planning on striking. So good job on him to have the fight IQ to realize he's got to switch it up, and he needed to take it to the ground. I think that was really the deciding. The striking was, I won't say it wasn't one-sided by any means. They had some good exchanges, but on the ground is where Eddie was able to take home the W.
Yeah, it seems once he got on top, Gibson didn't have much of an answer for him.
But he was getting off on the feet.
Yeah, look at his. You can see his leg even in the small window. That thing is raspberried up.
Yeah, and that started in the beginning of the or the end of the first round. I noticed it. He did it, but also Eddie did start checking some kicks too. And I know, if you're landing nice on the thigh and you start feeling comfortable and you start laying into those leg kicks and then someone checks it, you're like, son of a bitch.
Oh man, a well-checked kick will change your game plan.
Yeah,
for sure.
What other?
I'm gonna skip forward. I'm gonna skip forward to the very next fight, which was Philip Jackson and Kevin Hine.
Sheesh.
I was excited for this one.
Yeah, anyone who knows PJ's dad is a world-class boxer. He's in South Florida. PJ's kind of went under the radar a lot, but this is a huge fight, a step up for Kevin Hine to take in his debut, taking on a 2-0 guy who's got a pedigree of boxing and jiu-jitsu. But the intensity that Kevin Hine brings to the cage, and you look at him right here, he is all gas.
Man, is he like this all the time?
No, he's the nicest guy in the world. Like, really, genuinely nice, good dude. To see him fight, see him at weigh-ins, you would think he might be like an asshole, a douchebag, but he's not. He's like the nicest guy in the world. He's got a bunch of kids who follow him and like support his career, and he teaches. Yeah, it's a persona.
It's so intense. He actually, I didn't get to catch the whole thing. I was in the back, but he actually did some striking in this one. I've only seen him fight once or twice before, but his strength is definitely his grappling, right?
Yeah, he's a wrestler, but he does throw some. He throws some heat. But once he gets in that range to grab you, he usually grabs you.
Yeah, he knows where he's strong. Go there way to it.
He throws some heat, and early in this bout, and I think there's only one actual exchanged, and PJ still came away with a busted up eye.
He dropped PJ.
Man, Ramsey got me kind of hyped for this fight at the pre-show. He was talking about PJ's hands and his jiu-jitsu pedigree, and I was like, oh shit, he might really be able to give Hines like some problems.
I mean, you saw that slip right there, like.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
But
Hines was all over him.
He got rocked and then got put in this guillotine. It took Hine a little bit to actually lock up the guillotine, but he just kind of hung out in it. You see, even now it's not really.
Hine is like a rabid animal.
Hey, Ulysses jumped in the chat and he said, if you guys get a chance, ask him about his breathing techniques and mindset as he goes in. And we heard a little bit about that.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it firsthand.
But he's asked us not to talk about it. Actually, he doesn't want it. He said he'll tell the story when it's time, is what he said. But he's got a whole
interesting
story about it. We were trying to get him to do it on camera, and he was like,
of like how he developed it, or did he like take it from someone and just used it?
kind of a whole, like a hodgepodge of things that he put together. Best way I would describe it.
Miles is in the chat. He's got some thoughts on this.
he said, he said, yeah, man, that man ain't wrapped too tight.
Yo, that's got to be the first time I've seen somebody call out the ring announcer.
He did.
That's crazy. He's like, what are you doing in April?
He said, I'm coming for all the 205ers, and looked at Miles.
For yourself. Miles out here, shout out to the armed forces.
Yeah, this was honestly, it was surprising to me how quick Kevin was able to get this finish.
Dude, he made it. He looked great, dude. He snatched that guillotine up, kept the hand in, capped the head. Like, rule of thumb with a guillotine, they can pop their head out. And he saw that, capped it, and worked it back in until he could get his grips up.
Yeah, textbooks on the guillotine. PJ's also got a big head, so it's probably doesn't help him to have his neck, have that dude on his neck. This fight for me,
certainly not.
Irvin Enriquez, like, wow. I think I'll say this too. I think Tristan McGraw is one of the most talented bantamweights that we have with us. His record is not even close to a reflection of how skilled this kid is. But see the way Irvin came in and just nonstop. I mean, head kicks to takedowns to, I mean, he was just, it was ridiculous how good his grappling was. And he's on a big 35.
I saw Irving warming up in the back. That man is fit. And like, let's keep in mind, he beat Avery Muchler, which is no small feat. That is one hell of a hard scrap. He, like, there's a certain look where you're like, oh, this guy's gonna be a fucking problem. It's this. They all have the same haircut. They got the same shoulders, the same back, like, and they're all just brutal. And they seem to kind of fight the same. Every dude that's got this look, kind of the same thing Irvin has. And bro, he looked like a dog out there. He was all over the place, nonstop pressure. Buscape was in back warming. Dog, you are overdoing it. This man is going to be tired. And he was not.
Yeah, he was not. He was all gas this whole fight.
Man, you dream about that kind of gas tank.
If you're going to have a guy against the cage, this is what you got to be doing. Going for the takedown, coming up with knees, throwing some elbows, throwing some punches, going back for the takedown. Not just holding on and hoping that something changes and the takedown becomes available.
You know, there's a certain range that Tristan wants to be in to do his thing, and Irvin was not having it.
Yeah.
Nope. It's all me, no you. Fighting is extremely selfish.
Yeah.
If you give that, a lot of this stuff that we see these guys doing that we find so infuriating is bad practice habits. Think about, like, when you're drilling with your partners in class, and you're like, bop, 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 bop. Oh, your turn, cool. The drill needs to look like the fight.
Yeah.
Right? You finish, dot, 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 hands up, defense, footwork, posting, controlling, their turn, your turn. And the tempo needs to match that fight. You know, I have call and response drills. And sometimes they're simple, lead hook, low kick. And the goal is that you can defend and respond in the shortest amount of time. And that's going to imitate the fight. And that's how you're going to get comfortable with that quick decision. Your body is actually programmed to do it through good drilling practices. Not just
I always tell people practice how you want to fight. Sometimes if I'm teaching a class,
the echo is back.
Are holding pads.
The echo is back.
People are holding pads, and I say, hey, fire a jab, and then people punch like this. I'm like, no, aim for their face. People like hold pads out here sometimes for each other, and they're punching across there, Or like friends, I'm like, no, hold here. I'm like, all right, we're practicing slips, punch me. And then they punch this way. I'm like, no, hit me in the nose. Like, oh no, coach, I don't want to hit you. No, hit me here. It's my job to slip and move out the way. Because if you keep on practicing like this, then when I get in the fight, I'm gonna, think that's where the punches are gonna be coming. So I always tell people, make practice, like you said,
Yeah.
Coach Ben, make practice as realistic as possible.
You got it.
Yeah, I mean, I would even say that's another huge problem in the sport too, is exactly what you described, Miles. And then on top of that is like people taking it easy on their training partners. Like, yo, if I'm training you for a fight, if I'm training with you and you have a fight, I should be trying to make you as uncomfortable as possible. Sure, I don't want to give you a concussion, but like when we're on the ground, maximum shoulder pressure. Whenever we're standing, I'm not trying to be soft when I go to the body or through the legs. I'm trying to drop you with a liver shot by all means. Like I'm trying to hurt you there. Obviously, again, the head. I'm cool with taking it lighter there, but yeah, guys are not practicing for what they're going to actually see in a fight, especially for debut guys. These debut guys, they get hit the first time in a fight, and you can see the look in their eyes, like, "Oh shit, what was that?"
Yeah,
that's not where you want to be when you feel your first hard shot is in a fight.
No, man, and being gun shy is real. Like, and it happens to all of us, even the ones that are comfortable in the scrap. Because sometimes you get clipped, you get surprised, and all of a sudden you're like, ah, and you're covering and reaching, and you're like, I never do this shit.
I'll tell you what, whoever is getting ready for a fight against Enriquez in the future, and they better be in the trenches every day because this guy is a problem. He's a dog. Look at the way he just is constantly moving, striking, smothering, posturing so he can get up to strike again, kicking him off the break. I mean, this guy is a madman.
I kept waiting for there to be a moment that he let up, and it just didn't happen.
It was no break.
Pressure is a weapon. When you can keep this kind of pressure on somebody, you will break their heart, you will break their spirit. Because most people don't train like this. They don't train. It's 5 minutes of like hell coming down upon you. Like, you just look at his passing. Step left, step right, step over, hip smash, head pressure. Damn. Like, again, this kind of pressure is a weapon.
Yeah, and I think, he just eventually broke Tristan. Like, he got to the point where he kept he got to his back and kept going for the rear nakeds and look at the elbows here and posturing, going from, it's a beautiful display of ground and pound.
It really is. He did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he never got tired either, too. I was like, okay, this is not going to last. When he goes into the second round, okay, you're going to see maybe the volume or something, drop down a little bit. But no, it's like he ramped it up even more in the second round.
And if I'm being honest with you guys, I think Urban's going to end up being a flyweight.
Really? He looks pretty yoked up for 135.
He's like 5'5". He does not have his legs aren't huge. I was standing next to him and I was like, bro, you're a flyweight, 100%.
Now, what truly, like, after all of this, what impressed me the most was the finish, because he has all this output for the entire time, the whole fight, nonstop, and then he still puts on a squeeze that was like out of this world.
And he's already squeezed like 2 or 3 times in this fight. He's already had other positions where you could see he was squeezing, and he never lost it.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, is this a natural gift of cardio, or is he like living in the strength and conditioning room?
I think he wrestled his whole life, and that's where
that's the background. Yeah.
Oh, the grind.
Yes.
Dude, wrestling makes you mean, bro.
I would recommend any parent who wants their child to pursue martial arts, that's what they should be in 5 years old, that wrestling room.
It doesn't really happen much in Florida. There's very little high-level youth wrestling. Everyone's got to wait till they're, in high school. Oh, he put McGraw out.
He tapped as he was going out. Lewis, the Defner photos won't be out, and the Aaron's photos won't be out until we're done posting them on IG. Probably Friday or Saturday, you'll see those albums drop. on Facebook. But I'll make you.
Shout out to Prince Perez. I don't know if you talked about his fight already.
Yeah, we did.
You did? Oh, yeah. Shout out to the Eagles.
Yeah, he called that.
Shout out to the Eagles, God, and his girlfriend.
In that order.
Just watch. He's gonna have a
Eagles,
second job
girlfriend,
as a
God.
capper.
I love this post.
Some people might argue it's the wrong order.
Yeah,
Short time too.
It was.
I thought at the 10-second mark he locked it in, I believe, because I thought I was K-shot and I was like, oh, he's gonna be able to survive this for 10 seconds.
His face went purple.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was like a 3 or 4 second squeeze, and
Yeah, his corner man just checked.
You know, the fight I was probably looking forward to the most was on the amateur side of things. It was Ulysses versus Javi. And, man, I'm just, like, it's the fight game. It is what it is. You know, Ulysses did a great job and was relentless in his ground and pound and doing everything. I just wish we got more of that fight. And I know it's like Javi's knee, could tell it was compromised, but I wanted to see more of that fight. I wanted to see more.
Do we know what happened to his leg? Like, I was speculating.
Doctor thinks
like,
LCL, ACL.
And he just stomped the floor, and like his knee went.
Yeah, he does it once before and doesn't fall, and then he does it, and it buckles right around this area. I think you see it kind of give.
Yeah, like he hasn't
hey
made
guys,
any steps that.
I got Ulysses on the line. I'm gonna jump him in here with us.
All right,
Cool.
right here, I think.
What's up, man? Unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
What's up, Ulysses?
Right there.
What's going on, man? Congratulations.
Thank you.
The champ is here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mitch. I do agree with you, man. I wish we had more of that. That was going to be a nice one.
Yeah, I know. You were pretty. You didn't like it either. I know you wanted more fight.
Yeah. I mean,
no one wants to.
Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to win, in whatever way, whatever fashion. But
you're healthy,
especially to have him like an injury like that, knowing he's going to be out for a little minute, like that doesn't bring me the joy that I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Javi's such a good dude. You don't want to see him hurt like that.
Did you realize at any point that anything had happened to his knee? Because it didn't.
Yeah.
Seem like it.
Yeah, man. There's a point that I actually pointed to his leg before I was able to drop him a second time. I pointed to his leg. I wasn't doing that for him. I was trying to point it out to the ref. Javi's a dangerous dude, so I'm not going to like turn around and look at the ref. Hey, his leg, But I pointed to it and just kept fighting, hoping that he would stop it. But
well, Javi kept fighting.
Yeah, Javi.
Yeah, Javi. I mean, dude, what a dog. You know what I mean? On the bottom, getting punched up, still fighting.
Yeah, he was arguing with the stoppage too.
Yeah, his corner, Richard Cox, was like, "Man, that's it." Like,
Yeah.
Firstly, it's amateur. You got your health is more important. As bad.
Exactly.
As it is,
yeah.
We don't need to make it worse.
That's my thing. If we were pro, like, whatever. But as an amateur, like, dude, I don't hate you. Like, you're my training partner in a way. I hated to see him hurt like that.
I was surprised, Ulysses, that you noticed the leg and you didn't just like stand up and back away and make him get back up. And
that's what I was saying.
I considered it, man, but That's just not my style. That's just not my style. I'm not looking for an
I
easy way
understand
out. If he wants
ground
to
and
keep
pound.
fighting, then I'll honor him with that for sure.
Yeah, right here I was just like, oh man, I don't see this guy, finishing the fight.
Bro,
Like,
he couldn't stand. He couldn't stand, man. Like it was a bummer,
Yeah.
you know. But he wanted to come out. He wanted to give it a go,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
and that crew that
Yeah, no,
Griffin Ball has,
Javi's a dog, man. Like he's a dog. He's a real warrior.
crew is mad respectful. I've that Roberto Cotera was my very first MMA coach, so I got a lot of love for him. Always got a lot of respect for Roberto, and the guys that come up through him are always mad respectful. So, it was like the shittiest of shitty situations between it being like, there's so much respect between Richard and the GB crew too. So it's just like, like of all the fights.
Yeah. I saw Javier in there say respect. Yeah, man, love, dude. Like, yeah. We can run it back in the future, man. We can run it back. Heal up and let's do it again.
What about that hair though? Javi has got to have the nicest mullet.
Hey, it was kind of getting in my way a little bit. I was like, dude, I'm trying not to pull your hair.
So Ulysses, man, what's next for you?
You guys are coming to Jackson March, right?
May 17th.
May? Let's do it in May. I'm down.
now I know Ulysses that you fought at 170 before. Would you like to, drop down, be a Combat Night, double champ, or defend the 185 belt, or drop down to get the 170 belt?
So I haven't fought at 170 yet. It is a goal. It's been something that I've been teasing for a little minute. I really wanted to get this done first. I really wanted that 85 strap. I mean, I'm sitting in the car with it wrapped around my belt, wrapped around my waist right now. Like I really wanted this. The 170 strap is something that I'm looking at because I feel like that's where I should be when I go pro. I'm not the biggest 85er, so it's on.
Guy.
It's on the list. What's that?
What do you walk around at?
Dude, I probably walk around like 190, 195 max.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a true middleweight. I'm just strong. Yeah, I'm just strong and able to keep up,
in that life.
Yeah.
Just a second. Like, I wasn't lying to you. I'm literally.
You get one whole week to wear it everywhere you go. You get to brush your teeth in it. You get to bring it to the gym. One whole week.
Yeah.
After that, we get to make fun of you.
Hey, go ahead, make fun of me. I'm gonna keep it with it. I'm gonna keep on.
2 months from now, you must be still walking around.
I'm gonna be at Subway with it. Take a shower. Actually, the place I work at, they were like, "Are you gonna wear the belt to work?" I was like, "Yes." What do you think? Like, yes, I'm wearing the belt.
Why wouldn't you guys remember when Rampage was getting in the Pride Grand Prix? He was like, "When I win, I'm gonna go to the bathroom with my Pride belt. I'm gonna eat dinner with my Pride belt. I'm gonna fuck bitches with my Pride belt." I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing.
Man. I mean,
a nice piece of gold. Woo.
All the time and effort that I put into this, all the time away from my wife and my kids, feeling like a shitty dad sometimes, feeling like a shitty husband, can't handle responsibilities of, just a man sometimes. You feel weird about it. You feel bad about it. To finally have this on my shoulder just says that it was for a reason, Yeah, this is big to me. This is more than just a belt, This is a lot of sacrifice sitting on my shoulder right now. Definitely means a lot to me.
I saw your wife yelling there cage side. I know she definitely supports you, man. She don't mind you going there and going to the gym and training. She can handle the kids because the way she was yelling, man, I definitely you can tell.
She's awesome, man. I'm telling you, she's awesome. She's amazing. To handle some of the stressors that she handles, also active duty military at the same time. She's doing all this stuff while also being active duty. I mean, she's awesome, dude. I couldn't give her the props necessary. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's always
shout out to her.
She's always there. right beside you every single time. I noticed that,
Yeah.
man. I always tell these fighters that a woman can either make you or break you in this sport, and 9 out of 10 times they're breaking them. 9 out of 10 times they're breaking them. So if you can find a woman that supports you, like your wife supports you, then man, don't mess it up. Like that,
Yeah,
you got
nah,
a
for
good
real.
one. You got a good one. I have too many stories of guys that coulda, woulda, shoulda, but they got involved with the wrong one.
Yeah, I mean,
Big
this
facts.
I tell her all the time. You know, some people say, "Oh, if I didn't have kids, if I didn't have wife, you know, I'd be able to do so much more." Dude, if I didn't have my wife, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. You know, like living that bachelor lifestyle or whatever, I wouldn't be able to compete like this. I need her in my life, and she does an amazing job.
That's
So
dope.
she's awesome.
That's awesome.
Shout out to my wife.
Oh yeah, that's great.
That's dope.
Hey,
Well,
Ulysses, while we got you, I want to give you a chance to, shout out anybody that you may have missed in the ring or anything like that.
Okay. Well, shout out to the commentating. First off, shout out to the Combat Night team. I appreciate you guys even giving me the opportunity to have this belt on, man. Again, like this is big to me. This is something that I've had my eye on for a long time. That I put a lot of effort in to have, you know. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to the commentary team. Shout out to the social media guys, Mitchell. Um, yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you all. Um, Bam, the Carolina Grizzly. Huh? That guy has been huge in my camp. I mean, you guys haven't been able to see my grappling or my wrestling yet, but Bam has been very significant in that. I've been getting folded up by 18-year-old high school wrestlers for quite a while to be able to show you guys something special in the future. And Bam's been very, very important to that. Preston Parsons, first off, for even inviting me over to Gracie Barra. I mean, that started a whole new level for me. Uh, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but compare my last fight to this one as far as the striking, the speed, the pressure, the accuracy, this even the shot selection, completely different than my last fight with Stewart. I mean, that's all Preston just for inviting me over to Gracie Barra, and of course Professor Roberto, Corey Taylor. I could go all day, man. There's a lot of people that helped me get here. It's not just me at all. Yeah, it's been great. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody right now. Who am I forgetting?
Leo was in camp with you. Did you need to work with Leo? I know Leo's got really high level striking. I know he's
Oh
small.
man,
His
Leo striking is amazing. Yeah, Leo striking
ridiculous.
is amazing. It's so hard to hit that dude.
Yeah.
It's so hard to hit him. It's so hard to even grab him. He's so elusive, but it's elusive. Um, it's like a dangerous elusive because if you mess up trying to get too close to him, yikes, you know. And you can't keep backing up because he's gonna keep getting at you. So yeah, definitely Leo. Um, Coach James Smiley, that's who I wanted to really speak on. Um, Coach Smiley took me in when I had no money, no time, no skill, and built me up to a level to where I was able to be able to compete at the level that we do now, to where I can come to somewhere like Gracie and understand martial arts and understand fighting, to be able to go to that next level of it. Um, Coach James Smiley, amazing man. I mean, I've never ever heard anything negative about him, and I've never heard anybody, or excuse me, I've never heard anybody say anything negative about him. I've never heard him say anything negative about anybody. You talk about someone who's humble, understanding, respectful. Again, I had no money at some point. Hey, coach, I cannot pay you right now. I'm so sorry. And he's like, just keep training. That's my payment. Keep training. You know,
Yeah.
dude. If I could give him the world, I'd give him the world right now. Coach James Smiley is an amazing dude. Seriously.
We love Smiley at Combat Night, man. Smiley is salt of the earth. He is a very good human being, just in general. He is the
Very
type
good
of guy
human. Yeah.
never bullshits you, always keeps it A1, very transparent.
Mhm.
We have some coaches that I hear through the grapevine someone's pulled out before the coaches even told us. And it's like, man, where Smiley's like, hey, this guy, he hasn't been here in a week. I don't know what's going on. I just want to keep y'all in the loop. And it's like, man, we appreciate guys like that are so transparent with us. And we go way back with Smiley too. We've known Smiley forever, for a long time. So I've actually cornered guys when Smiley used to do events way back in the day at the Armory that fought on his show. So I go way back, and got a lot of love for Smiley. So
That's actually, I want to mention that too. That's something that I love about this Jacksonville area. Again, you guys know I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. After Milwaukee, I lived in Mississippi and I lived in Georgia. I'm not from Florida. I didn't know anything about Florida until after I joined the military and got stationed out here. When I started training martial arts in Florida, you guys are so close. Everyone, you're only one person separated from the next man. Like Ramsey, for example, you and I had never met in real life until the Combat Night events, right? But I know so many people that we're all just one person away from the next. And you guys have a real community out here that I'm glad to be a part of. I mean, if not for Jacksonville, I don't think I'd even be fighting, much less be as skilled. I love that about this place.
Well, it's a little, it's kind of funny, man. It was not always like that. It's not always like that. In Jacksonville, there was a lot of feuds. It took a long time for that community to become what it was. I
guess I came at a great time there, huh?
Yeah, did, man. There was a lot of feuds in Jacksonville, and like everybody, of course, Smiley's always been a guy that everyone gets along with, but yeah, man, at one point we ran an event in Jacksonville, and another promoter, I won't call him out here, I know exactly who did it, gave us, and this was back before like Facebook was as big and Instagram was as big, 4 or 5 fake fighters, and we matched them and everything, and then no-showed us at weigh-ins.
Oh, damn.
Oh, like they actually did not exist?
They did not. Well, maybe people existed, but come to weigh-ins, and so 4 guys didn't have fights.
Wow.
And we went from 10 fights to like 5 or 6 fights because.
Why would you do that? What's the point?
That's crazy,
bro.
Sabotage.
Not everyone's good at competition. Not everyone can compete the proper way. Some people gotta cheat. It's all right because we're still here and they're not.
Hey, there you go.
It's actually
yes,
Zach
sir.
Elkins, our main event on that card, man. Zach Elkins was fighting for our 205 belt. We got stood up for him, and one of our guys that trained with us in Tallahassee, Tim Lopez, Roadhouse, stepped up on less than 24 hours notice, and he was like, "Hey, I still got to work tomorrow morning." He worked, drove to Jacksonville, and fought and won a split decision.
That's
and
crazy.
He was a 170 pounder, went up to 205.
Wow.
Saved the whole event. Without Zach Elkins fighting, there went like a ton of ticket sales.
Dang.
That's wild.
Wow.
But yeah, so
Hey.
it's cool to see how Jacksonville is now. But I'm sure even Ramsey can remember how it used to be.
Oh yeah, for sure. There used to be a handful of promotions that were trying to put on shows there and doing all types of different things. And yeah, we then they left, and then it kind of went dark in Jacksonville for a while. And then we had a new crop of guys come up and reestablish that scene significantly.
Yeah, Costa, Ramon, Preston, Reggie Mack, all those guys together.
And that's the other part about the time that I finally came here is that I was able to catch up with the Preston Parsons, the Coslows, the Ramon Tavares, the Austin Lanes, the Kevin Churches. Those I was under the wing of those people when I started. I definitely got a quick boost. I was able to skip a couple of those initial barriers just from being under them and just being around them.
And I think shout out Kevin Church. He just signed a 1 championship.
Yes, he did. Yeah, my big brother, man. I'm so happy for him. Shout out to you, bro. Congratulations. Yes, sir.
Oh, dope.
He actually he messaged me right after the fight. He said, "Congrats, champ. But I got to one up you," and it was the contract.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
He came to town to visit and like be on like a vacation, back home vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, I'm gonna plan my trip so I can fight for y'all. Help me get a fight. And I was like,
yeah.
Word?
Cool.
I was like, hell yeah. So he like literally came back and planned his trip so he could fight on a card for us. And luckily it worked out. Got him a fight, and it was dope to have him back with us as a pro because he went and turned pro in Asia, and then to come back here, It's like we got him.
Hey, well, I just want to say, Ulysses, thanks for joining us, man.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, and wish you the best,
you.
and can't wait to see you back in the Combatagon.
Before you say goodbye,
yes,
let's talk about Leo's fight.
What was that?
I said, before you say goodbye, let's talk about Leo Figueroa real quick.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about Leo, man. Yeah, let's give him some
First thing,
shine for real.
I thought, and Corey Taylor will attest to this. I talked to Corey about this. I thought that was a horrible fight for Leo to take because Leo has yet to let go inside of the Combatagon. I have not seen that. I've sparred Leo. I've sparred him many times. I understand what he's capable of. Like, I've done kickboxing only with him, and I'm like, my God, please let me take you down. Let me do something.
Right.
But like,
Man,
in
that
MMA,
stomp kick was
I've
disgusting.
seen him very hesitant to really let his striking go. And when the fight started, he got lat dropped. I was like, oh, fuck, here we go again, you know? But he reversed the guy, ends up getting up, and is like really letting his kicks go. I could not believe there's the lat drop. Manages to end up on top here. And
yeah, and that's something that I really love about I mean, well, honestly, I did it at Smiley's as well, but coming to Gracie, we really put an emphasis on it. Being a mixed martial artist.
yes.
Yeah, I have this thing that I'm good at and I have this thing that I like to do, but none of us are just one dimensional, you know? You see, that was an immediate reaction from him to roll over and get back on top, to find his stance and get back to his feet, you know, to go back to what he wants. But it's not that he can't do these things, you know? Yeah, man, Leo is amazing. Leo's amazing, and he's only getting better.
Yeah, I know from personal training with Roberto, and there's a lot of coaches that have the same mindset, but about not settling. Like, you know, okay, cool, you got taken down, but you're only really taken down if you settle. If you keep moving, keep on working, you're not taken down. You can get up and nullify that. But man, the and then the respect. I love how
and he's so respectful. Yes, exactly. He's so respectful.
Guy.
He immediately goes down and just kind of waits, you know? Like, Leo's a great dude, man. And so nice. So nice.
Hands up. He wasn't even like, yes. He literally went from punching the guy, ref steps in, on his
Just
knees.
straight down. Yeah. Yeah, Leo, man. I mean, again, I can't tell you guys how grateful I am to be at Gracie Barra. And it's because of people like Leo, people like Corey, people like Professor Roberto, people like Preston Parsons. Like, I'm learning so much from these people, man. And that's one of those things. Like you said, as soon as he dropped to his knees, and he's gonna wait for you to stand back up, you know. But yeah, Leo, dude, he's amazing. His striking is obviously dope, but some of that ground game that he and I both haven't been able to really show off yet, it's there, guys. Like, it's there. You haven't seen it, it's there.
We trust you, man. Well, we'll let you get on with your night, bro. I just wanted to make
Yes,
sure we
sir.
talked about Leo while you were still on here. A lot of love for that kid. It's been awesome watching him grow, and I think this last fight is really going to help him take off. And I look forward to offering him a title fight next and seeing if he can earn that belt.
Yeah, I 100% believe that he can. 100%. But all right, guys, I appreciate you having me on. My wife's blowing me up anyway. Thank you.
All right, man.
Congratulations.
Have a good night.
Later, dude.
All right. I have had Luis Perez on standby for a minute. Let me see if I can get him to jump in here.
Oh, this kid. What is he going to say?
What's up, Luis?
What's up?
What's up, man? Shout out to the Eagles.
Hey, I only speak locks, brother. If I'm gonna put my money on something, I'm putting my money where my heart is and where my brain is. You know what I'm saying? Say Sean Barkley, baby. Say Sean Barkley. That was financial advice for everybody.
Do you have a nickname yet?
What do you mean?
That's the Prince.
Prince, baby. What you mean?
That's the Prince. The Prince
You
Perez.
gotta change it, bro. You got to be the Venezuelan troll.
Nah. Nah. Bruh. Well, how was I trolling anybody? I was speaking facts. Anytime I say something, I'm speaking facts. Who can say otherwise? Who can say otherwise? If I tell you to bet on the Eagles and you bet on the Eagles and won money, you can't call me a troll.
I just mean in the comments. I just mean in the on YouTube, Instagram.
Oh. Bro, the thing is, people think they can troll me, bro. I'm gonna take it higher. Wherever they want to take it, I'm going to step above every time.
Yeah, you definitely stay active. I got to salute you for that all the time because people come in there popping off talking about our promotion, talking about our champs, and it don't matter. Lewis is in there. I love to
Not
see it.
today.
On I might jump on TikTok and be like, "Oh, he's over here too."
Nah, 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 not on TikTok. Anywhere but that. I don't like the Chinese taking my information.
Keeping it
America, baby.
honest, too.
America.
Just America taking the info. I like it.
Hey,
America.
I'll let America take my info. It's all right. They can take anything they want. Just give me
Nope.
some papers. Don't deport me.
So, man, you had a crazy situation for this fight. You had a teammate that was scheduled to fight, and his opponent fell out like 2 weeks ago, and then he said, "I need to fight by this past weekend, the weekend before Tallahassee, or I can't take it. I'm gonna pick up my shifts back at my job." And we found him a fight on like Sunday or Monday, and he was like, "Nah, just pass it on to the next guy." And I was like, "Well, the guy who's been chirping the most is Lewis, so I'm gonna hit Lewis up, see if Lewis wants to go up to 135 and take this fight." And it was not even, you didn't even hesitate. You were like, "Yes, I'm ready. I got it." And the guy you fought might not have the greatest record, but this guy's a dog, and he always comes to fight, and he always has cardio. And I was like, man, a week's notice that can be some drama. He's also a 35er.
Bro, so first of all, that guy was hilarious for saying he's gonna beat my brains and like, bro, some crazy talk like he was gonna like beat my pussy or something. Like, bro, when I heard Miles
Oh
say
yeah, that
that, I
was
was
like
like,
that
bro,
was
I
like
wish I would have known that before the fight because I would have been talking so much shit in there, like just on top of him, beating the shit out of him. Like, what pussy are you beating now, motherfucker? Because I was actually very respectful when we were in the back after the fight. The guy's asking me like, "Yo, how do you escape mount and stuff?" And I'm over here like I got him on top of me, like trying to show him how to shrimp and stuff. I'm like, "Look, you gotta keep your elbows tight," like. You know what I'm saying? But like then after I rewatched the replay and I seen that, I was like, why was I being so nice to this guy? Like, bruh, like this guy was really trying to go in there and like talk about how I was gonna be like a good pussy and get my ass beat and stuff. Like, bro, some crazy ass talk and like he can't even grapple. So like how are you gonna beat anybody if you can't even escape mount? Like,
I'm glad you told me that. Now I can go back on the stream and I can screen record some audio for a good reel.
dude, bro, what
He said, "I'm gonna beat the brains right out of him, or he will run away like a bad pussy, or he's going to be a good pussy and let me beat it."
it was awkward just
Say
me reading
what?
that introduction.
I was like, "Dang, where's Ben? I don't want to read
Ramsey
this." And
didn't want to
Miles
read
was
it, so I
like,
had to read it. I was like, no Diddy. No
We
Diddy.
know if
I
anything,
read that. No problem.
Ben and Miles are not afraid to say some outrageous stuff that fighters say.
Hey, we do
No,
it, man. It's
sir.
part of the job.
the thing is, anytime I hear somebody
They're
coming out
not.
to some like crazy rock, like I already know I'm gonna beat their ass. Like it's like that's like the key. Like they're coming out to some crazy stuff. I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker's gonna get his ass beat. Cause ain't no way you need all that to just get hyped for a fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hilarious.
Like I don't know. Me, I just wanna listen to some music that like make me happy before the fight. Like I just wanna like vibe and be like, all right, like get in the flow, you know, cause like if you feel like you're in danger, like you're gonna fight differently. Like I fight like with like happiness, like you know what I'm saying. Like I'm like, bro, this is what I love doing, so like I'm gonna enjoy it. Like I'm
Is
gonna
that
enjoy the moment, like enjoy the fight, like not be like scared. Like
is that the reason for the walkout song?
yeah, yeah, I just wanted to vibe. Like I thought that song was a
Big
bop.
sexy red.
Yeah, I thought that song was a bop. So I'm like, I'm gonna vibe. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. I haven't. There's not many fighters that do that nowadays. That was me. I like coming out to fun stuff and like interesting, funny, like whatever. So it was really cool to see you walk out to that. And I was like, the whole time I was like, man, this is how you make a pro debut. This is what you do. You have fun at the weigh-ins. You have fun at the walkout. You smash, and then you have fun in your post-fight interview. You crushed it. I bragged about you a lot. Sure, you can be real annoying sometimes, but I got a lot of love for you. You know that.
Nah, and I feel like in the state of Florida and even in the whole country, like there's not a platform like Combat Night. You know what I'm saying? Like other than like the UFC, like there's not a promotion out there that like helps the fighters promote themselves and like helps the fighters like put themselves out there. You know what I'm saying? And like I feel like it was meant to be for me coming to Florida and like fighting and stuff, cause like I've always had a big personality and like I've always been like a showsman, you know. So it just ends up working out because like a lot of the videos that I like, you know, a lot of the content that is put out about me, it's like it's got a lot of views and like it's got a lot of comments, you know, and like I'm not trying to brag or anything, but like I would say I'm probably one of the more famous MMA fighters in the state of Florida, just by like all the reels and like all the stuff that comes out.
Yeah, you and Jeremy are definitely our top performers when it comes to views and likes and hate.
Hey, you gotta have the hate. You know what I'm saying? I always say like I love my haters more than I love my fans because the haters are gonna tune in and watch. You know, they want to see you get your ass beat. Like your fans, like they're sometimes they don't show
If
up.
you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong.
Nah, yeah, 100%. And it's like all the people that want to see me get my ass beat. It's like it makes me happy.
Because they want to see you.
Mayweather was the
Yeah,
same.
right.
He's like, if you want to see me get my ass beat, you're still buying the pay-per-view.
100%. They gotta show up. They gotta show up to see me get my ass beat. You still watched, like that one bowling guy said. You know, he's like, y'all still watched. That's it.
So you were in the chat talking about April.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The same. I was supposed to fight in April. I mean, that was the locked in date I had. So whenever they had this fight for me, I was like, yeah, like let's do it. I quit smoking. Like I quit. Like I've been locked in. Like I've been, like I said, like my girlfriend turned me to God. So I've been just locked in on on my goals, like focused, like just 2025 for me is just about being focused. Like if I just focus on the things that I need to focus on, then there's no way I'm stopped. Like my whole the fight before, I was just not focused. Like I was still doing a lot of the things that I shouldn't have been doing, like smoking and like maybe not training as hard. And it showed because my opponent was focused and he clearly won the fight. So it was just my own fault and my own wrongdoing that led me to that.
I can attest to this. Going to the gym and he walks in 10 minutes late, smelling like he just hotboxed the car. Eyes are bloodshot red, and he's cheesing. I won't see that anymore in 2025, right, Lewis?
Nah. I'm locked in. 2025. I'm not none of that.
Good, because you got Evan watching you too, bro, and Evan needs a good role model to look up to.
Yeah. Hey, everybody needs a good role model to look up to, and hopefully, I'll be that for whoever needs it.
I like what you said in your post fight. You said you want to fight 4 times this year, and you're shooting for Combat Night Fighter of the Year.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way why I shouldn't get it. If I fight as much as I want to and get the finishes that I want to, then I don't think there's anybody who's gonna be able to keep up. And I started early, so I think there's gonna be like what 5 or 6 more shows. So if I can get on, my goal is April, then sometime in the summer, and then the November show in Fort Pierce because I love that show. And last year I didn't get to be part of it, so I'm definitely aiming for that this year.
That'd be a nice way to end the year. I think we got April, we got May, we got June, we got August, and then November. So we got 7 more pro shows.
Yep. Yeah, so I only need 3 more, so half of that, not even half of that, less than half of that. So it's more than likely gonna end up working out for me, and I'm willing to fight basically anybody, so it works out both ways. And I mean, I got a lot of matchups in mind too. Like I want to fight Ricky, and like I want to fight some tough opponents. Whenever it is that it ends up working out.
Okay, I like that.
Definitely want to fight Ricky probably by the end of the year, and Scooter too. Like I want to fight Scooter so bad because I just know I should have won that fight, and like I wasn't that experienced back then, and like I was half of the fighter I am now. So it's like, man, if I just put my hands on that guy again, I would be very excited and very happy about that.
How long have you been training for, and how many fights have you had since you started training?
So I started training 3.5 years ago, and I started fighting 2 years ago, and I've taken 10 fights.
Wow.
Yes, 9 amateur, and now my first professional fight.
And see, I try to tell these guys that is how you get to the UFC. Activity, activity, activity. Obviously getting better in between the fights and improving. You know, you don't want to just be fighting and not getting any better and just making the same mistakes. But, you know, activity is big, man. Again, if they got a guy, the UFC has 2 9-0 guys, and one guy's fought 3 times in the last 6 months, and one guy's fought 1 time in the last year, they're taking the guy that fought 3 times in the past 6 months.
Yeah, I look up to Energy Charles Johnson when it comes to that, because he's active, you know, and like I'm in the training room with him, and like we're at Fusion training together, and like I look up to that guy, and you know I want to be in the UFC like he is, and I want to be a top UFC flyweight. You know, even though I would say the UFC is not prolonging him like they should, in my opinion, because I have a high, you know, view on him and see him as a UFC champion, but you know the UFC probably's got their own plans. But he went 5-0 last year. He cooked Joshua Van, you know, and like it wasn't even close.
It was
And
three short notices, too. It wasn't just 5-0.
yeah,
It was 5-0 and 3 short notices, which is kind of crazy. And now they got him fighting some unranked opponent on a fight the whatever it's called, the Apex.
fight night.
They're not putting no respect on my man's name, and they need to.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I think he's an exciting fighter. Like, even the fights he's lost have been like some crazy pace fights where it's like the guy he's fighting just ends up taking him down in like the last, you know, minute of the round or so, and just holds on to dear life to win the fight, you know. And it's like if you if you have a flyweight that is, you know, a high pace striker with 5 round ability, because obviously he was an LFA champion, so he put in a lot of 5 round fights. I don't see how they wouldn't promote them forward, you know. But then again, everybody's timing is God's timing. So I'm sure God has got a great plan for him, and it's gonna end up working out.
Yeah.
But
It's good role
my,
model.
my my goal is 5 fights, 4 fights. That's what I'm trying to be.
All right. Well, we'll do our best to make that happen this year for you.
Amen.
Well, you guys got any questions for Lewis? Or Lewis, you have anything else you want to say, or anybody you want to shout out or anything?
Well, I already shouted out Combat Night, so I'm gonna shout out my coaches at BJ Melbourne, Carson Gracie Melbourne. I'm gonna shout out my coaches at Fusion Excel, Coach Mike, Coach Julian. Julian was actually in the corner for me this fight for the first time, so that was dope. And my training partners at Carson Gracie, at Fusion, like the rooms I'm involved in are special, you know. Like I got people that want to see me succeed, and I know all the people that I'm surrounded by have love for me, and I have love for them. So you know, I'm very grateful to be surrounded by great energy, great people, and like just continue to be learning. I'm 23, so being 1-0 now as a 23-year-old feels great, and hopefully by the time I turn 24, I'll be a 4-0 professional fighter.
Heck yeah. Hey, well, best of luck to you with
Thank
that.
you.
Can't wait to see you in
Thank
the
you.
Combatagon again. Look forward to it. Always entertaining. Thanks for joining us, Lewis.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah,
All right, man. Take care.
Hopefully see you in April.
Later, bud.
All right, guys. We've gone over a handful of fights, had a couple of guests. Any that we missed that you guys want to talk about? We're at an hour and a half.
The fight after Shins, Romero, Union, and I just totally blanked Crespo. That fight was insane.
Macias and Romero. Yeah, we talked about that before you jumped on. We watched it too. But
Okay.
if you have some comments on it.
At the very least, the first take legal, right? Where he straight up flipped that man upside down, took his time, and drilled his head into the floor.
The second one was legal because he was in a submission, but the first one was definitely legal.
That shit was crazy.
It
I was
crazy.
like legitimately concerned when I saw it happening. And Buddy, Crespo handled it like a G, but for sure his neck is fucked up right now.
He laughed. We rewatched it. When we rewatched it, he was laughing when he landed. Like, what the fuck? I like Macias a lot. He was actually, we went to Crunch Fitness the night before to hit the sauna and just kind of like, whatever, Thursday night. And he was in there cutting weight. So we were talking about his fight, and he was talking about how much weight he had to cut and how big he's going to be on fight night. So it was kind of cool to get to talk to him a little more because I don't know him that well. His best friend is Ben Paz, who I do train with, and I know pretty well. I love Ben; he's a good kid. But it was cool to like see David get to know that kid well. He's gonna have a very bright future in the sport, especially the way he fights.
Man, he was
Romello
really
too.
impressive. He was super impressive.
Yeah,
He looked
Romello
great.
too.
Dude, Romello is a freak, man. He really throws down.
I do want to say again before we leave, for any fighters that might still be listening or that's tuned in late, guys, keep in mind when you hear guys like Lewis that want to fight 4 times in a year, that's what the UFC wants to see. They want to see activity. They want to see guys that are fighting often, staying busy, and the guys are getting younger and younger that are getting in. They're younger and younger. Lewis is 23, but there's 18-year-olds that are going pro. There's 19-year-olds that are going pro. So
Super chat. What's up, Jeremy? Appreciate you.
what's up, homie? I appreciate the love. Not just activity, but finishing fights. You should be taking some calculated risk. Don't be out there in reckless abandonment doing silly shit. But you got to get that fight IQ up. You got to know when someone's hurt, and you got to pour the pressure on them. You got to be smart, make smart decisions, get the finishes, and man, just be active, guys. Like don't sit back. I'm telling you from personal experience when I say this. I was fighting once a year, maybe twice a year if I was lucky, and I was just taking my time. And before you know it, I was 32 years old, and I was 8-2, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm 32. Like I got kids now, and you start having life starts happening more and more the older you get. You got more responsibilities. While you're young and you're healthy and you got a ton of testosterone pumping through your veins, motherfucker, fight often. Get that experience because you don't want to be in me and Miles Amos's shoes. Look, I know Miles is envious too, bro. I know you see these young bucks fighting, going pro at 22, 23, being like, damn, they're doing it right.
There's guys that are turning pro like 25, and that's when I started training. I didn't start until after teaching during the day. Gained a whole bunch of weight from playing college football. Like, okay, what I want to do now. And then my wife was like, always used to see me, early days watching the Ultimate Fighter on Spike TV. She was like, why don't you go find an MMA gym? You always watching this stuff on the TV at our apartment at the time. I was like, you know what, I should. But if I would, it was always like that. If I would have started earlier, type of ordeal, and then staying active.
I want to say I was 26 when I started, 25, 26, and it was like the same shit. Like I just foolish. I also didn't take care of my diet like I should have. So while you're young and got all this energy, like I try to tell guys, fuck the drugs, fuck the partying, fuck the women, literally, but don't get caught up with it. Keep yourself the priority. Keep yourself number one. Like Ben said earlier, fighting is a selfish sport. You gotta be selfish. You gotta go. Ulysses left Smiley. Smiley told us Ulysses told us how amazing Smiley was to him. But Ulysses realized he had more room to grow, and maybe he wasn't at the right place. So he went and checked out another gym. He was selfish. He did that. He was selfish, and you got to do that in this sport. You got to go wherever you think is best for you. You got to do whatever you think is best for you, because at the end of the day, when you're 70 years old, you're telling your grandkids a story of your life about how you were a fighter, you were this, you were that. You're not going to tell them, I was almost in the UFC, but I stuck around this place, or I wanted to do drugs, or I wanted to get drunk all the time. You're not going to do that. You're just talking about how you almost did something. But in the back of your mind, you're going to know that you crippled yourself. You limited yourself by getting drunk, by partying, by doing drugs, by not being on your diet, by not training as hard as you should have, by not taking fights like you should have done. Don't be that guy. When I tell my fucking story and I got all my scars, I'm gonna be true. I'm gonna be real about my shit.
Yeah, you have to be. Like, I'm from an earlier generation than you guys. Like, I ended up with 10 total fights, which, for a guy who started fighting in 2004 is like a respectable amount, because shows only happened in Florida like 6 times a year, and you couldn't be on all of them. Like, I'm so jealous of the availability to compete that I see nowadays. Like, I mean, shit, you can fight 6 times a year if you pretty easily. And then you got some guys who do more. And like, dude, 6 times was crazy in my era. It was unheard of. You had to be like a Shannon Rich or Travis Fulton or something, and just travel other places, pay for your own trips and all that stuff to fight that frequently. You know, these kids are spoiled.
Oh,
How many shows does Combat Night do a year? 40? 35?
on record, it's 24, but for actual event days, it's like 15 or 16.
Man, that's so much, and that's just one show in Florida. It's insane.
The show in Florida, but yeah.
It is the show in Florida.
We're also,
dude, it's not even an argument.
A lot of pro shows are doing like 6 pro fights. Like we're trying to have 12 on every event. Like a lot of pro shows are like, let's do 6 or 7 pro fights. I'm like, nah, if we're already paying all these fees, let's do 13. Let's do 4, whatever many the state lets us do. That's what we're gonna do. But yeah, you said it, man.
Yeah.
These guys these days are spoiled. I feel like the old man that's talking shit about this generation. But we all know it because even when I came up in 2011, 2012, opportunities were RFC and Fight Time Promotions, and Fight Time took advantage of Fight Time.
Oof.
It just was rough. I mean, and like to even have the promotions now that take care of you, like us putting out the videos. I have so many fights that I don't have any footage of. Not even YouTube footage. Like not much less.
Bro.
We got like 8 angles. We got cell phones. We got the fucking camera A, camera B. Like, yo, the guys have no idea how lucky they got it now. Because when I came up, promotions were cutting costs, and part of those costs was production.
Straight up. I was about to say some of the fights that you have are specifically because you made sure I got hired to cover the event.
Yeah, and they get paid.
Yeah.
You know, people don't understand what it used to be like. End of the show, where's the promoter? Where's my paycheck? Gone.
Oh, dude. The stories, bro.
Yeah.
The stories of the early 2000s, and just like the venues can't find the guy. You know, dude splitting before the cages.
I won't even say names because most of them are dead now, but I'm saying it happened often, and it's just you guys are lucky you don't got to deal with it anymore. So take advantage. Don't be spoiled brats, and fighting once a year. Only train when you got to fight. Like all that stuff is just. You're lying to yourself if you say you want to be in the UFC, but you're doing any of the things I mentioned earlier. You're just lying to yourself. You're full of it. Man. And it's cool. But the worst person to lie to is yourself. Don't be that guy.
I'm sure you saw that Roy Jones clip that was put out. He's like, when I was coming up boxing, you'd come in and you're learning your footwork, you're learning your defense. You can execute every punch, and you know the why, the how, the ins, exits. He's like, now dudes come in and they just want to bang on a bag. They want to bang on some mitts. They want to spar. They don't want to learn shit. They want to do what's cool on Instagram. They don't care how good, like, they don't care if it's clean. They're like, yo, they just want to hit stuff. And then you see a guy like a Luis Perez, who's super efficient and super technical in all of the areas, at least in the 4 or 5 fights that I've seen. Like, you cannot be a guy when you're sitting at home playing with your stuff and not giving the sport the appropriate respect that it deserves.
Yeah. Because there's somebody out there that is doing it. And I don't care how talented you are, I don't care how gifted you are. When you come across that hard worker, that Irvin Enriquez, good luck.
Yeah.
Even for a night.
And there's some guys that are so gifted they get away with cutting corners. You know, I can name a list of them. Very few of them got super far, and those that did get super far, get into the bigger shows. They ran into a guy who was just as naturally gifted, but somewhere in his life he learned: listen to coach, follow the program, show up every day, do what you're told, and because he had the gift and the work ethic, the levels, massive differences.
True that. Well, the community is fortunate that you do business the way that you do, Mitchell, because that's obviously been the key to our success and the key to our consistency. And with the amount of shows that we do, there's plenty of opportunities for things to get screwed up and people to get screwed over. And I think we built a fantastic reputation on that not being the case. And it
100%.
kind of gives all the young guys an outlook on like, oh, this is the way MMA is, and it's like this is the way we do it. But we've seen a dozen or so promotions go by the wayside over the last few years, and it's
It's
because
true.
everybody thinks if they got 50 grand, they can start the new UFC.
I love
And
it. I love it when I used to get so offended when guys would go fight for other promotions. I used to be like, oh, like we do so fucking much, and they're just like, oh, they don't even get it. But now I'm like, yeah, go fight for them. Go find out. Go get that. And guys message me all the time, man, I fought for X and whatever, and oh god, it was horrible. And I'm like, duh, like we didn't become the best by doing shit half-ass. And I always say it, man. I tell sponsors this. I tell coaches, fighters, my own team. Everyone knows who is number one at our events. Number one, fighters. Fighters are above sponsors. They're above the team. They're above everybody. As long as they're respectful and good, good people, they're going to be number one. If you're a shithead, you're an asshole, I could care less. I don't even care if you fight for me. I don't care if you sell 1,000 tickets. I'm not dealing with that. I don't want to deal with that. But if you're a respectful guy and you do your job and you do what you're supposed to do, you're number one. You're the first priority in our promotion. I tell everyone that. You can ask Ramsey how many times I fucking went sideways over a fighter not being kept number one, over a situation where I felt like a fighter was being, not prioritized for what silly as shit. Give me something very small. I'm gonna lose my shit over it. It's very, very important to me that we keep fighters number one.
Yep, and we're a fighter-founded organization, and that is unique in itself. And I think that's what shows through is, we care about those guys.
Everything we do is based off an experience that I've had firsthand. Whether it's the footage not being there, whether it's the fighter not getting a free T-shirt, y'all. I have fought for $300 and asked the promoter for a free T-shirt after the event, and he told me the merch booths over there, they're $20.
Fuck that guy.
Why do I give out free T-shirts to all the guys that fight for us? There you go. You can thank Ash Hat in Georgia that told me to go buy a $20 T-shirt after I made $300 to fight for him. It's like little things like that. It's like the time that I finished, a current top high-level flyweight should be in the UFC, Juan Perta. I got a lot of love for Juan Perta, but I finished him. I got no footage of the fight. I would love to have that footage of me beating a guy. It was 2 weeks after my mom passed. Like that fight meant a lot to me, and I have no fucking footage of it. So it's like, it's moments like that.
I can't believe you finished.
We've made it a point to always have good camera, post shit, all the things. I got an experience for everything that we do. There's a reason why we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to the merch, man, Combat Night merch is, second to none, man. Like my wife, I'm in a separate office. I have a dresser here. It's just this in here is just all Combat Night stuff. And this dresser here I got in the office. This is Combat Night and Jungle gym gear. Like, and I got, a dresser in the bedroom, that's street clothes. Dresser here in the office. This is all just a drawer full of Jungle shirts and Combat Night shirts.
All stuff you beat a 6-year-old to win.
I'm gonna need tell Kate I need some gloves too. Tell Kate I need some gloves.
For gloves.
You need puffies or
boxing gloves. I'm gonna have to face him with something for some boxing gloves. And then he said afterwards when we checked out Airbnb, he was like, "You can come over to my man cave. Can you bring your son? We have a man cave, Miles. Can you bring your son over? I want to grapple him." I was like, "Say less."
He's coming after the whole lineage.
Your puffy glove producer guy, whoever makes your puffy gloves. Sham showed up in the gym with those. I love them.
Yeah, they're
bigger than normal. Those are nice gloves, man. I gotta get you guys info.
I don't mind at all.
Hell yeah.
You just can't give the sauce to anybody else. That's the one rule. If you ever get the sauce away, sauce is cut off.
All right, guys. Well, we're back at it again this week in Fort Lauderdale. Looking forward to it. And I'll see you guys all there.
See you guys there. Can't wait. I'll be there on Wednesday.
Hey,
Now,
Saturday the 15th, Kurt Decker performance of the night. I promise you, watch that shit.
I'm excited
Uh,
to see Kurt fight again. We'll talk about
Me
that on
too.
Friday. Come back.
Hell yeah.
quick comment from Macias.
Yeah, his hands were slick. I was very impressed. I don't know if I've ever seen him fight before, but man, the way his head movement, and it wasn't like he was just like it was like the Matrix. He was just like that dude there had phenomenal striking and good head movement.
Yo, Aston,
Yeah,
it's crazy. I was actually at that event and I was in the paint filled locker room. I can't believe that the UFC had that going, but I won't go off about that.
All right, well, we'll be back on Friday. We'll do a pre-show for Fort Lauderdale from down there, and we have our event on Saturday at Sway. If you're watching and you're going to be in the neighborhood, come through. If not, check out our pay-per-view where you'll hear our lovely voices once again. So until Friday, everybody have a good one. We'll talk to you then.
Peace.
See you guys.